Hello everyone, this is Mary at the Wando Mount Pleasant Library, and today we're going to be continuing the How to Draw series with a video about how to draw birds. Now, there are so many different kinds of birds out in the world, and they have a lot of beautiful variations, and it can be kind of hard to figure out, with all those feathers, what's really going on under there. So we're going to take a look at how you can break down a photograph into different shapes that you can use to structure the building blocks to draw any bird you can imagine. So sometimes when you look at a bird, it can be kind of hard to tell what's going on. I mean, this is a ball of fluff with a tail, right? How on earth do we find out what's going on? Well, this is what a bird's skeleton looks like, and as you can see, it doesn't look very fluffy. So our main masses right here are the rib cage and the torso, and birds have this keel bone to help them fly, which mammals don't have, and that makes up a lot of the mass of the chest. Then we have our skull. Our legs are a whole lot longer than you might think they are, and the wings have a whole lot less bones than you think they are. Let's take a closer look at wings. Now, wings are actually a lot like your arms. They have the same joint. They have an elbow here, a shoulder here, and a wrist here. So if you're ever confused about how wings work, you can just look at your arm for a second. So birds' flight feathers actually grow directly out of the bones, and these yellow ones that I've mentioned here are called the primaries. They grow out of the last bones that you would consider your wrist down to your fingertips. And then the secondary flight feathers, which I've marked in red, grow out of the other bones. These blue ones are called the coverts, and you won't see them as much. They don't help with flying as much as they help cover up the wing when it's folded. When a bird folds its wing, the secondary feathers cover the primary feathers. So if you're looking at it from the top, the secondary feathers will be on top. And in this photo of a drawing of a bird with its wing completely folded, you can see how the bones are just folded in on themselves. We have the coverts on top, then the secondaries, and then the primaries are just tucked right in there. So now that we know how to shape a wing, and we know how a bird is shaped, let's put that into practice. Our first picture we're going to draw is a swallow. So I've marked the head and the torso right here in orange. And depending on what kind of bird you're drawing, because there's a lot of variation in birds, you might have a very small head and a very big torso, or the opposite. Small birds like this usually have fairly big heads compared to everything else. I've also studied how the legs might work, and so I've drawn a little sketch of the leg bones here to help me figure out how this bird is moving. And I've drawn our wing bones, which are pretty small in our swallow here. So I've traced where the wing bones might fall, and our primary feathers are going to be the ones coming out of here, and then our secondary feathers come out of the other wing bones. So this is what my sketch actually looks like for the swallow. So here you can see I have my torso, my head, and then I draw the shape of the wing next, just the bone, and then from my bone I can draw a line radiating outwards to get the rough idea of where my feathers fall on my wings. And in our wing in the background, you can hardly see anything except for the primaries. Then I have my legs, and the tail is almost just an afterthought. Birds' tails are very different, and they can all hold them in different ways. They're very important for flying. So just follow your reference photo for the tail. Let's look at that in practice one more time. Here we have an osprey. And unlike my swallow, my osprey has a pretty small head and a pretty large torso, and the torso is actually kind of egg-shaped with how he's got his arms splayed out. Then I have two little legs here, and my wing bones go from about right here to right here. So this is the sketch I would start with to draw the rest of my osprey. I've got my torso, my head, and my wings. So if I were to draw my wings, I would draw some primary feathers right here, and then my secondary feathers would follow the shape of the rest of how the wing is splayed out. And there you have it. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this video about how to draw birds. Go out there and make some beautiful art. We'll see you later.